Free with Cleo.
This is Cleo with CleoYogaFinance.com, and welcome back for another episode of Financially Free with Cleo, a show where we shift mindsets with real and raw money conversations with everyday people, empowering you to take action, appreciate the journey, and live the lifestyle you desire, financially, mentally, and physically. Today we're going to be talking about statistics, how statistics does not define you, they don't define me, they don't define us. So there is this podcasting statistic out there that states the average new podcast does not last beyond the 10th episode. And I'm here to show you and tell you that it is possible. This episode is my 11th episode, so I've already crushed that goal. I've pushed through those numbers, and I didn't allow that podcasting statistic hold me back, to say the least. So before I started my podcast, I did all the research, I read all these articles, watched videos, listened to other podcasts, and I almost allowed some of the negative numbers hold me back and not start at all. You know, whenever we're starting something new, we're researching, right? We're looking at all the studies and all of the history, and we're looking at all of this information, and we're using it to really decide, should I do this? Should I not do that? And a lot of times we really shouldn't really focus too hard on that information. Yes, it's really good to do the research and understand what's really going on in a certain industry, but you really don't want to allow it to define you. Just because others weren't able to reach a certain goal, it doesn't mean that you can't. And just because it was hard or difficult for other people to do something, it doesn't mean that it's always going to be hard and difficult for you. So I just want to encourage you and remind you that whatever you're wanting to do not allow self-doubt, limiting beliefs to really hold you back. Still do it. Now, you still may be scared. You still may be a little nervous, kind of unsure of what's going to happen. You know, fear of the unknown can kind of hold us back. But I encourage you to still do it. You know, I would have other people tell me, or just my own thoughts would start to come in my mind and say, Cleo, don't start this podcast yet because you need to wait because it's the holidays, people are busy. And then I also told myself, you know what, I need to take more voice lessons or speaking lessons, or I told myself I need to learn more about editing and more about producing, and I need to learn more about lighting and soundproofing rooms. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to start this podcast, right? I'm going to share it with other people so that if people, you know, are interested and want to support me, they can. And I also know that everybody is not going to like it. You know, if your goal is to please everybody, if your goal is to win everybody over, if your goal is for everybody to like you, you are going to be exhausted. You are going to be tired. That is not a fulfilling life. And I don't even want everybody to like me because that's a lot of pressure to gain interest and keep the interest of everybody. Yeah, that's not going to work. So I know that I'm going to be for some people and I'm not going to be for some people. Just like with myself, there are a lot of things and people that I like, and there are a lot of things and people that I don't like. And we all have a right to like and enjoy and love all these different things and different people. But I know now that anytime I want to start something new, Cleo, just do it. Don't worry about what the statistics say. It doesn't matter because you can set your own rules and your own guidelines, and you can write your new chapter, your story. It's all about your experiences. And don't worry about what other people have to say about it. You'll have people to tell you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that for all these different reasons, because sometimes they don't believe it's possible either for themselves, or they just don't believe that you can do it. And what's crazy is a lot of times, really most of the time, when people say negative things about things that you're working on or something that you're thinking about doing, when you actually accomplish it and do it, then they send you an email or they text you, or they call you, or they DM you wondering, how did you do that? What steps did you take? Oh, how did you get to do that? Wow, Cleo, that's a great job. How did you get to do that? But months, weeks, or years ago, you told me I was crazy, or you told me I wasn't capable, or you put all these negative thoughts out there as if it's not a great idea. So just remember, in your life, you're going to have people, strangers or people that you know, that are going to say things to you to get you to not do the things that you really want to do. Not saying it's going to be an easy journey, but I'm telling you to do what you feel is best for you. And when I also think about this podcasting statistic, it reminds me of statistics from my past that I dealt with for a long time. So let's take it all the way back to my high school years. I was a senior at Pearl Cone High School in Nashville, and I was pregnant at the age of 17. So we know that there's all kinds of statistics surrounding teen pregnancy, pregnancy with young Black girls, pregnancy when it comes to inner cities or lower income or poor neighborhoods. And there's a lot of data out there that say that if you have a child at a young age, you won't be successful, your child won't be successful, you'll be on government assistance for majority of all of your life, you won't be able to go to college, you won't be able to do all these things. And I was so terrified because I really believed that that was going to be my reality. But I did not give up. That was the most important things. A lot of times I wanted to give up. I mean, I was stressed and depressed off and on throughout my journey, just different things that I experienced in life. But what I always remembered is that I never quit and I never gave up. When I was in high school, there were people that, well, I remember when I actually went to college, and, there would be people that would tell me, Cleo, shouldn't you be at home with your child? Or why are you still dressing like that? Meaning, I would wear crop tops with my stomach out, my back out, and some shorts. At this point, I'm like 18 years old and 19 years old, and people would say, you shouldn't dress like that. You're a mother. But you really shouldn't worry about what people say and think about what people say, because we are all different. We all have different lives, and whatever works for you may work well for you, but that doesn't mean I need to follow everything that you're doing because that's what supposedly works for you. And I just had to realize that not everybody is going to support you. And some people are going to support you in public and not in private. And then some people are going to support you in private and not in public. People are going to be in your face saying, good job, congratulations, oh, that's so cool. But then an hour later, they're in group chats or in somebody's DMs or talking about you to somebody else. So you can't think about or worry about what other people that has to say or what these statistics out there in these studies have to say about you. I am an example of someone who is a teen mom, and I didn't allow those numbers and that data to define my life. I didn't allow that to hold me back. And you have to really push through that, because there are people out there that really want us, people like us, to fail. People make money off of other people failing. People look better by other people failing in certain type of ways, and it's really sad. Another statistic was being a first-generation college student. Not just starting college, but also finishing college. Because we all know we can start college, but how many students actually graduate? So there are a lot of statistics out there that say if you are the first person in your family to go to college, then it's a bigger percentage that you won't even graduate. And it's really sad that, yes, it's cool to have these studies to really know what's out there. But to be honest, people do these studies, and then what? Are they sending resources or people to help shift these numbers into a more positive direction? Or are we just trying to announce these numbers for our own personal gains in some type of way? I don't know. You tell me. But I really want to know, all these years and decades go by, and the numbers just look worse and worse and worse. And maybe there's some other areas out there where the numbers have changed over the years and they look a lot better. But that's what I would always see, is that if you are a first generation college student, if you do start, you may not start college. And if you do, you probably won't finish. But I didn't want that to hold me back. I did not want that to be my story. So even though I was a single mom, teen mom, in school, working, I just took it day by day. And it wasn't always easy at all. There were times I was in the computer lab at school, had my daughter with me, right there sitting on the floor while I'm at the computer lab trying to finish a paper, trying to print something off. And I just knew that wasn't going to be forever. I knew that there was just a chapter in my story and that there was something good that was going to be coming back later, right? So think about statistics in your past that you felt like kind of held you back, you know? Another one for me is being on government assistance. Now, I know I mentioned this already, being a teen mom, but even going through my younger adult years, my early 20s, you know, I was still receiving government assistance. And there are a lot of people out there who feel like just because you're on government assistance, oh, you stupid, or you don't know any better, or you can't be wealthy. Like, this is just a stepping stone in my life, okay? And even if you're someone that's on government assistance right now, it doesn't mean that you're not capable of getting to a point where you are not dependent on government assistance. You know, you can get to a point where you can earn enough money to support your lifestyle and do the things that you really want to do in your life, and not have to only rely on money from the government to support yourself and your family. You can become independent from government assistance. And just because those statistics say that most of us who are on it will be on it forever, that does not have to be you. I mean, if that's what you want, then hey, do whatever you want to do, because it's your life, right? But if you know you desire more out of life, then you have the tools and resources to start making that happen, okay? The next one is talking about relocating. So there were times where I relocated in the past, and I would have people tell me, Cleo, it's not a good idea for you to be moving this much. You know, it doesn't really look stable. You have a child, they talk about people who relocate multiple times. But what some people don't understand is that's just a part of life. Sometimes you have to move for your career, for your job, for the industry that you're in, and just because you stay in your hometown or live in one city most of your life, that doesn't always mean that you are successful either. That is not like the golden ticket to being physically stable, mentally stable, emotionally, financially stable. Because I know a lot of people who have been in one city most of their life and still broke, still got a bad attitude, still don't have a lot of quality or positive things going on in their life. So just because I relocated multiple times, which I did it because of work, okay? The reason why I did it was because of work. So just because I relocated multiple times with a daughter as a single parent, that does not mean that we didn't have a great life or quality of life, or that we weren't stable. My bank accounts was looking real nice, okay? And we got to meet other people, travel to new places, experience new things that we wouldn't have experienced if we would have stayed in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, I love my hometown, Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm not saying that I couldn't be great there, but I knew I wouldn't be able to experience the traveling and relocation experiences that I've had if I would have just stayed in Nashville. Now, hey, one day I may move back. I don't know. But I think we all should think about the things that we really want and do that. Not what other people think we should do, not what studies say you should do, not what this group of people over here say is best for you. No, do what you feel is best for you. Because those people that are talking about you, they're going to talk. It doesn't matter what type of person you are or what you do, there's going to always be someone somewhere that is going to say something negative. There are going to be people who support you and people who won't support you. There are going to be times where you're going to be on this journey alone, And there are going to be times you're going to be on this journey and have people right there by your side, pushing you, cheering you on, and like genuinely want to see you win. So again, these statistics that are out there and these people that are around here running their mouths about you, do not give them any energy. Now, you know, sometimes when we say, oh, I don't care what people think. Oh, I don't care what he or she say. Oh, I'm unbothered. I don't care. Now, if you spend too much time saying those things, you care. You know, I could just be on social media and see someone post, you know, unbothered, or I don't care, or nobody bothers me, you know, just saying stuff like that. Now, if you're saying every now and then, cool. But if you're always posting or saying, I don't care what people think, nobody bothers me, or I'm unbothered, you're giving it a little bit too much time and energy now. You are clearly bothered at some level if you have to constantly announce that you don't care or you're not bothered. Because when people who truly don't care and are truly not bothered, they're going to be too busy living their life to even stop and acknowledge or announce that they don't care or unbothered, okay? That's what I've realized about my life. You know, I've learned to mind my business, focus on my business and my personal life, thinking about things that makes me happy, that makes me smile, that makes me laugh, that makes me joyful. You know, if you give time and energy to things that really don't serve you, especially these statistics, then it's really going to paralyze you, keep you stuck, keep you in a place that you really don't want to be in. Because we can say we want more out of life, but our actions will tell another story. You may want this, but what are you actually doing to get it? What are you actually doing to make a change in your life so that you aren't in this pool of numbers in these studies that are being done out here? You know, just because you come from a single family home, or just because you were a teen parent, or just because you grew up in the hood, in the projects, in lower income or poor neighborhoods, or just because you used to, you know, drink a lot, be an alcoholic, maybe you were on drugs, maybe you had a sex addiction, maybe you were someone who were involved in gang related activity, maybe you used to rob people, I don't know. But whatever you have those in your past, that does not have to define you either. You know, we can change our lives for the better. You know, there are things that happen to us that are outside of our control, and that are things that happen to us because of decisions that we made. But the good thing is there's always a way to change. There's always time for you to make a new movement in your life. Start your new chapter, write your new story. And that is something that I did years ago when I first decided to relocate away from my hometown of Nashville, Tennessee, which was back in June of 2013. I'm born and raised from Nashville, Tennessee, and the first time I moved was June 2013. I moved to Miami, Florida, then it was Orlando, Florida, then it was Frederick, Maryland, which is right outside of, maybe 45 minutes outside of DC. Then I went to Denver, Colorado. Then I'm now in Dallas-Fort Worth area. And in between then, I've just traveled and worked in other cities doing contract work. But it's all about learning. It's all about growing. And I just want to encourage you to be as strong as you can be. Use your mind, use your heart, use your soul to guide you when you are making these decisions. So some ways to not allow these statistics to define you is focus on what you desire. Not what's trending, not what seems cool on social media, not what other people say you should do, or just because you see somebody doing something and it looks like it's working for them and you say, well, maybe I should do that. No, is that what you want to do because you desire that, or you only want to do it because you see it working for somebody else? No, figure out what you want to do and focus on that. Another thing is giving time and energy to what you desire, to what makes you happy, what makes you laugh, because that's what it's all about. You know, when you are focused on leveling up in your life, you really don't have time to think about those studies and what the numbers are saying. There are miracles that happen every single day. Some people may not believe in miracles, some people do. But there are things that happen that people didn't think was possible until it happens. And then they're asking you, well, how did you do that? It's just like anything that we think, there are things that are happening now. There are things that happened last year that no one thought was possible 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. Now we're in 2021. Who knows what's going to happen this year or next year or 5 years from now? So like I said, whatever you think you want to do it despite what media says, despite what studies show, despite what the numbers say, despite what these statistics are saying and showing. Still do it. Even if you fail, you will still learn something from it. You will still grow from it, and you can use that in your next opportunities. If things happen the way you anticipated, great, because you did something and it happened the way you want it, right? But there are going to be times where things are going to happen in a way that you didn't anticipate, and it's actually better than what you actually had planned for yourself. I got a little hype with that because it was so many times since I relocated that something happened in a way that I did not anticipate, didn't plan for, but it was 10 times better than what I envisioned for myself. That's why it's important to use affirmations, speak them, write them, think them, and whatever you want to do, say it. Don't be closed off. Don't hide. Don't keep quiet. No, you say it. Sometimes people say, you should work in silence. Don't really share what you're working on. Move in silence. I mean, yeah, that's cool. But there are times when you need to be vocal about the things that you're working on. Yes, you do have to be selective in how you share stuff, who you share it to, but you also need to share it with someone you trust, of course. But even if you don't have anyone you trust, at least say it out loud to yourself. So the universe, so God and whoever you believe in, I know everyone doesn't have the same spiritual beliefs or religious beliefs, but whoever you believe in, speak it. Shout it out to them, okay? You got to meditate on it. You have to spend time talking about it every day. You got to see it every single day. This is why you have to say it. This is why you have to write it down or set yourself some alerts on your phone to give you a reminder so it can help you stay on track. That's what I use. I have reminders on my laptop, on my phone. I have reminders throughout my apartment. I have reminders in my car. It's to the point where you have to see things on a daily basis to really shift change in your life and to help you stay on track. It's really true when they say the out of sight, out of mind. If you're not constantly seeing something or hearing something, you're probably not going to really give it a lot of time and energy, right? So you need to be seeing and talking about it every single day. So, what is it that you have been wanting to do? I gave a pause there on purpose because I want you to really think about it. What is it that you really have been desiring to do that you feel you've been holding back on? Is it because of you think of what other people are going to say? Because I used to experience those feelings. Nowadays, I don't really care what other people have to say because, this is my life. So I want to encourage you. What is a statistic out there that you have felt has bothered you, impacted you in some type of way? And is it still holding you back right now? And what is it that you really have been wanting to do that you haven't started? Or maybe you started it and stopped, or you slowed down on it for some reason. But I want to tell you right now is that you have no time to waste on it anymore, because there is someone out there that is waiting on you to deliver. Just like with my podcast, when I have other people that share their feedback on what they liked about a certain episode, that makes me feel good because I know somebody out there is listening, right? And it lets me know that I'm providing value that's actually helping, because I want you all that's listening, I want this to be worth your time and energy listening to. I want you to finish listening to an episode and say, wow, I really learned something from that. Oh, that was a good conversation. Or this was really worth my time to listen to. And I want to continue to grow and learn and get better. And that's what it's all about. None of us are perfect, right? Yeah, there are some people that are masters at things, right? But you don't have to be a master and a professional and an expert at every single thing. Find something that you like, find something that you enjoy, and put time and energy into making your skills better so you can deliver better, so you can elevate and live the lifestyle that you truly want to live, okay? So this is the end of the show today. Thank you so much for taking out the time to listen to me. And again, don't allow those statistics to define you, even when it comes to the financial statistics, right? People living paycheck to paycheck, and people that can't cover a $400 emergency, or people, especially in our Black communities, people aren't really keeping the money in the communities or spending money on some of the small businesses or Black-owned businesses. Think about those statistics out there too. Just because we didn't grow up with trust funds, or grow up as millionaires, or grow up as with families teaching us about money, that doesn't mean we have to continue living the struggle. Our life doesn't have to be a hard knock life for the rest of our lives, okay? We can really make a change in our finances. I was not taught about money growing up, but I know my mom did the best she could with what she had, and I love her for that. So what we need to do is hold our own selves accountable, okay? We need to tell ourselves, you know what? I wasn't taught this as a young child, but at a certain point, we got to understand now we're an adult. Now we have to take responsibility for ourselves and teach ourselves, or hire people who can help us learn about this money game, because you can't do it by yourself. It is just too much to learn out there. There's so many levels, so many lanes. Things change every day in the finance world. So it's up to you to not only learn stuff that you felt like you should have known years ago, but you also have to be okay with being a student forever. I'm a student forever. The wealthiest people out there are still students in their own levels, in their own ways, okay? So as you navigate through your financial journey, I want you to not worry or wonder about taking a risk. I want you to take the risk. Don't worry about it. Don't hesitate. Don't stop. No, you just need to do it. Take that risk. Do not wonder what if, what shoulda, coulda, woulda, or I need this, I need that. Don't worry about any of that, okay? Do not wonder what if. Take a risk. And I will see you next week.
You can be financially free with Cleo.